Hello, today I will show you how to make your own sourdough starter from scratch. I know a lot of people are intimidated to make their own sourdough starter from scratch, but believe me, if you follow the steps that I'm gonna show you and the tips that I'm gonna put at the end, you will nail this. For this, you will need a clean jar with a lid, a measuring spoon, a spatula, whole wheat flour, and filtered or boiled water. Do not use tap water. Also, this method doesn't have any discard, so you don't feel bad about throwing flour away. On day one, we add 1 tablespoon of whole wheat flour to our mason jar. And if you have kids, they can help you out with that. It's a fun project for them. Then we add 1 tablespoon of water in there too. Next, we take the spatula and we mix the water and flour really well. Once you finish mixing the flour and water, the consistency looks like cookie dough. That's how it should look like. Then we take the lid for the jar and we place it on top loosely. Do not screw it all the way. Then place the jar in a warm place. The temperature should be about 70 degrees. It's late fall here where I am, so I just put the jar on top of the heat vent in my kitchen. We are now in day 2, and as you can see, nothing has changed with the starter. This is just the beginning, so we repeat the same process. We add 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 tablespoon of filtered or boiled water to the starter mixture. Mix everything well, and again, for 24 hours, we leave it in a warm place. Make sure you mix everything well so there's no flour pockets left. The end result will could look like cookie dough or also like almost oatmeal consistency, which is fine either way. So we will place the jar lid on top again, and we will keep it in a warm place for another 24 hours. Don't screw the jar lid, just keep it loose on top. We are day 3 right now. So for day 3, we're gonna repeat the exact same process. But once you open the jar and if you look inside, you can see those little pockets of air that has started forming up, which means that the yeast is starting to work. It's totally okay if you don't see any bubbles in your jar starting to form yet. It might mean that your starter needs another day or so to start forming the yeast. So for day 3, we repeat the same process. 1 tablespoon of whole wheat flour, 1 tablespoon of water. Mix with the spatula really, really well and do not leave any pockets of flour in there. So I'm gonna say it again, it's important to keep your jar in a warm place because otherwise this will not work. So day 3, cover again with loosely the jar with a lid and put it in a warm place for another 24 hours. On day 4, I noticed that my starter has grown, and also there is more air bubbles, not only on the top, but if you look on the side too, you see more air bubbles, which means that the yeast has formed. But I'm gonna feed it one more time today. Same 1 tablespoon of flour, 1 tablespoon of water, and I'm just gonna put the rubber band to see how much it grows overnight. So if it doubles in size, then it means that my starter is ready to use. Even mixing today, the starter, the dough mixture feels super fluffy, and you can see those little bubbles on the side there, which means that we have an active yeast already. I will then cover the jar with the lid loosely and then put that rubber band to mark where your starter is. So the next day we can compare if it has doubled inside, and if so, it means that it's ready. I checked it about 12 hours later, and as you can see, it has doubled in size, which means that the yeast is ready. I fed this starter for a couple more days to strengthen the yeast and also have enough sourdough starter to bake 1 loaf of bread. At this point, I use my scale to add the ratio of water and flour of 1 to 1.